Okay, hi everyone. Welcome. My name is Peter Loshak. Want to make sure that the audio is okay. All right, what a week, huh? What a week. Yesterday was a weird day. Shout out to Deer Slayer Ski. Shout out to Sean B, Adam Lastman, Alex Ramirez. Yesterday was a weird day. You know, this show is we happy few. The first few people who are tuning in right now. Giving public plays definitely messes with my, decision making on what to give out publicly. It doesn't affect what I do privately, but these last couple of days have been very frustrating because the plays that I've given out publicly have been a little bit off, and the plays that I've been doing privately, where I have no, where I'm not risk averse at all, have been very, very different. A lot better. The losses, in there as well, but overall a big selection of plays that were overall winning. So I don't know how I can get over this. AIPP, I got to get over it because I can give a lot more plays out that would overall be very profitable, but it's just any individual play. There's going to be runs of losses and stuff like that, and then lots of individual plays that were way on the wrong side. I got to get less risk averse when I'm giving out public plays, when I'm tweeting them out or shouting them out in this show. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that. The last few days have been very frustrating. Whenever I shut off the show, the later games, I'm completely on the ball when it comes to, the second half plays. And in the games I'm giving out publicly, it's just I get way too risk averse. Way too risk averse. Anyway, we got a small group of games tonight. Hopefully we'll find something good. It tends to not be as pronounced when there's a small group of games as there is tonight. Mondays and Fridays, tend to be, it tends to be not that big of a deal. It's really when there's a big volume of games where I'm betting a big volume of those games and could really, the edges on all of them are very similar. So I could give out any of them or all of them or none of them. And I kind of just wind up for somehow subconsciously, actually giving up publicly the ones that are the most iffy. I tweeted out 2 plays yesterday, although one of them got screwed by overtime. And in fact, in the show yesterday, 7-6, which is fine. But one of those plays was also an overtime loss. Another one was a close one. So a little bit of an annoying, frustrating day yesterday, but ready to get them tonight, then get some sleep, and then do it all over again next week. I'm going to refine my technique a little bit next week, and hopefully, although by the time Thursday rolls around, I'm going on. I'm on autopilot with a sleep debt, motoring along, doing what I'm doing, and it's very kind of like what Mike Tyson said. All your plans go out the windows once you get punched in the face. By the time Thursday comes around every week at this time of the college basketball season, bam, you've gotten hit in the face. And you're just going with your instincts, and you hope that your instincts are good. All right, shout out to everyone. Adam Lastman, William Cox, Alex Ramirez. William Cox, I appreciate you putting plays in yourself out there, win or lose. Thanks. Yeah, I just got to I know that, people have such a short, memory when it comes to public plays. And, it's just every public play. I know there's so much on the line as far as people's perceptions of me and the show and this and that. It makes me feel bad if people have, they're coming off a losing day and they really and truly believe in me and they have hope that I'm going to give them a pick that's a winner or positive EV. But then even if I do, if it's a plus 55%, if it's 55%, likelihood of a win, they'll take it. They'll be like, great, I trust this guy. And then they overbet it. And then, all the problems that come with overbetting can come. And so I just got to figure out a way to deal with it all psychologically to make my public plays more in line with what my private bets and picks are. All right. So this 7 o'clock games were interesting. There were a few plays that we'll talk about the 7 o'clock games very quickly. The Dayton game. Look at that. That was one. I liked St. Louis and the under on that one. Didn't tweet it out. Did not tweet it out, though. I did tweet out Niagara last minute, and I also liked the under and the Rider team total under, and I just didn't tweet that out for no reason, really, just because I forgot to tweet. It was 3 minutes before tip-off. Quickly tweeted out Niagara. I also like the under, and I also like the Rider team total under. We'll see. There might be some second-half value in that one. Iona is an interesting team. Let's talk about them, though, because Iona, weird team. they obviously had made the tournament the last 4 years, right? And they were expected to be a lot better this year. Don't forget, this is the they made the tournament the last 4 years, and this isn't a year where all of a sudden it's a new roster and there's turnover. They have pretty much the same roster that they had last year, which you remember made a nice showing in the tournament, right? They played well against North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. They pretty much have the same guys back this year. So people were expecting good things from them. They had some issues with their coach, which obviously makes a difference. If you think that coaching issues don't matter in college basketball as much as they might in football, that's definitely not the case. Who's the team? Evansville, perfect example of that this year. Iona, I don't know how long this losing will continue. I wasn't ready to pull the trigger on them today with Fairfield, but at some point, Iona's going to turn a corner. And when they do, they're probably going to have at least a little bit, if not a lot, of betting value. The problem is that the market will probably react quickly to Iona because of of their preseason expectations, but it won't react immediately. Iona will probably turn a corner and either have 2 or 3 games of huge betting value in a row, or an extended run of 5 or 6 or 7 games of solid betting value. I hope it's the second, but it's going to happen. I can guarantee you that. Well, not guarantee you, you know what I'm saying. Highly likely that is going to happen with Iona. These are the kinds of things that I look for, and these are the kinds of things that have historically made my record in February so good. I would not at all, if Iona does turn a corner, I will be on it second game, if not the first game. I definitely have my eye out for Iona as a team that will have betting value at some point in the future, whether it's next week or in February. Let's see, the Michigan State game. Yeah, another one. I should have tweeted that one out too. I missed the opener of 7.5. I took it at 9.5 anyway. Of course, Michigan State's coming off a loss. Tom Izzo is, kind of like a Belichick-esque coach who, he's not going to take, a team is likely to rebound after an embarrassing loss like what they had last time. And Wisconsin is definitely a blowoutable team. They are a team that can easily lose by double digits. I missed the opener of 7.5 because I was just too busy and doing other things. I took it at 9.5 anyway, even though it was a crappy line. I wish I had tweeted that one out. The St. Louis-Dayton game, I like the under on that one, and the Dayton team total under, and St. Louis plus some points. Didn't tweet that one out. And Niagara, I did tweet out. I like the under and the Rider T. I should have tweeted them all out. I should have just tweeted them all out. Yeah, in general, I do much better on smaller cards than bigger cards. And I felt I had a good read on this card in general. I like Canisius as well. Canisius, of course, is they played already once this year. Canisius lost. Now they're at home with a competitive line. Canisius has probably the best player on the court, maybe the best 2 players, arguably, on the court. I also like the over on that one, man. Oh God, I wish I had just had it together. All right, next week I'm going to get it all together, and I'm gonna give out plays and tweet plays fearlessly, without worry of who might be taking it and reacting inappropriately over betting. Did tweet out Niagara, but I like the under, the Rider team total under, Canisius, the over on that one, St. Louis, the under, the Dayton team total under, and Michigan State minus the points. So there might not be any second half value here if all these games go as I expected in the first half, pregame. But we'll see. All right. Overall, I think it's been a successful week. It was definitely a very up and down week. We made some jokes. Let's see what comments are coming in. Shout out to you, Matt Thames. Viral video. I shouted you out in yesterday's video. I'll shout you out now. Viral video. I don't have time to follow anything except college basketball, so I had no idea whether those tennis plays you were giving out in the comment section of this show earlier this week did well or not. I later caught wind that they all cashed, they all won, and everyone was thanking you for it. Shout out to you, Viral Video, for your tennis picks that you've been posting in this show. Huge shout out to you. Shout out to you, Mr. Gokster. Alex Ramirez with low-hanging fruit here. Hurricanes and the Mavs. Love Alex Ramirez's enthusiasm. Low-hanging fruit. Shout out to you, Ron Lofton, David Hutton, and Nasty Nate. We happy few. I wish I'd given you all my pregame leans here or plays. They're all looking great. Oh, so frustrating. Under in that Rider Niagara. And I don't know. I didn't understand why that total was where it was. The Bakersfield game was interesting. I think it wound up going over anyway because of overtime. I didn't understand that total yesterday. And that, of course, there was something I wasn't seeing because it wound up being very low scoring in regulation. This one also, I was crunching the numbers. I was looking for any reason why this total was as high as it was. 145 Rider Niagara. Didn't find it, and I hit it. And I wish I had tweeted it out to all of you. And the Rider team total under. And the St. Louis-Dayton game. Yeah. St. Louis, of course, is a poor free throw shooting team, so they are big. They're a big liability in general, covering spreads, especially against quality teams or in games with competitive spreads. Teams they can where free throw shooting won't matter as much. That's where you can look for St. Louis to be to have more ATS value. That's the kind of thing you might want to look for if you're looking in depth into a game. Teams that shoot well from the free throw line are obviously going to tend to be better bets when free throws are probably going to matter. Games that are closer at the end of games. Teams that have problems from the free throw line, where that will not matter as much. Those are games you want to look to bet on those teams as well. Teams where they, games where they may be over match their opponent from an athleticism perspective, rebounding perspective, something like that. So St. Louis is an interesting team, right? Excellent defensive team and very efficient defensively, and can really dictate the pace of the game as it looks like they're doing right now. Big liability though from the free throw line. And again, Iona, I don't know when the corner is going to turn, but I think it will turn at some point. I didn't quite want to take it tonight just because Fairfield is such a wacky team to play against at times, because they can really frustrate a team, especially a team that's having a little bit of a head issue, of a general collective psychological issue, as Iona is. Teams like Fairfield that, are not necessarily great offensively or talent-wise, but slow the games down effectively, can cause psychological problems for teams that are prone to that, which is like exactly what Iona appears to be right now on paper, a team that should be doing a lot better, having, unexplained issues as to why they're not having kind of a weird season, similar to Davidson, similar to what's the other one from yesterday that I think I bet on and lost with. But yeah, so it was a tricky game against Fairfield, but Iona definitely, I'm going to have an eye out for them turning a corner at any given point in the upcoming future. Oh shit! And the Yale game, Brown game, oh god, see, I'm off the ball now. I got to get some sleep. I like Yale. Even at 11.5, Brown had one of their top scorers. It was questionable for this game. I don't know if he's going to play, but even if he plays, I would like Yale anyway, even at 11.5. Yale's a very impressive team right now. They play great defense, efficient offensively as well, and you can really see it in the box scores of their games. They've been outperforming their spreads recently, and while I was talking about all the plays I wish I had given you guys, the clock ticked, and I missed giving you out another one that I was on, which is Yale, minus 11.5. I did take that one. No play on the total, though. Some reasons slightly over, some reasons slightly under. But, Yale obviously has been great ATS. That will probably also change at some point in the near future. I do expect Yale to become overvalued, only because the market will adjust, and they're definitely not a team that is going to get big blowout wins if it's not in their year-long interest. So I do expect Yale to come crashing down to earth ATS-wise, again, maybe in a week or so, maybe in February at some point. That is another prediction I make that is likely to happen. But this was not the spot for that. Brown, in general, a very vulnerable team here. They have the injury issue to their star, and Brown is not that. And the line was big, but not that big. And this was not the kind. And Brown also coming off the big win against Rhode Island. And I just saw Yale as 20 points solidly better than Brown here, something or so. So Brown is not. If Brown gets down, they might quit on this game, and I would not want to be on Brown here. Yale is significantly better statistically in many ways. So I took Yale. Michigan and Ohio, the one game that I will be able to tell you about before it tips off. Unfortunately, I have no bet on. Obviously, the only play that I would be thinking about right now would be the Iowa team total over. Obviously, these two teams played earlier this year, and Michigan blew them out. It was a very high-scoring game. Michigan has problems defending the interior, right? Big men tend to go off against Michigan, as Iowa's big men did in that game, even though they lost by double digits. There's also an injury issue. That guy Livers, however it's pronounced, for Michigan. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but I wouldn't necessarily want to be laying 5.5 here. I do think that that a safer play would be just the Iowa team total over, which I guess would be like 76 or so right now. Let's see what they got at some of these books. I didn't bet that one though. I might bet that one closer to tip off. Lean to the over, and I guess a lean to Iowa here. Although I wouldn't want to bet either of those. Modest leans in both those cases, and classic situation where I have small leans to a side and a total, and a stronger lean to the related team total to those two leans, which would be the Iowa team total over. I'm seeing like 76 and a half at like minus 105 or so, and that might be a way to play that one. But I haven't bet that one yet, and I might not. But that's the way I'm thinking about that game. All right, let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at some other comments, and then the halftime should come in about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up and go to sleep for the weekend. Big Ragu, shout out to you, Mr. Gokster. There you go. Ron Lofton took Yale at 11. Nice. Yeah, so did I. Yale minus 11.5. The Iona game under 130, one would think. I didn't want to touch the total on that one at all because, again, anything can happen in the second half. Sometimes these Fairfield games are very low scoring first half, and then they go high scoring in the second half. Let's see. What else do we have here? Wow, yeah, people are talking about NHL. Excellent. Let's see. What are they talking about? Mr. Gokster. Is he talking about AHL? Oh, yes. One would expect that market to be beatable by someone who knows what to look for and who has the ability to follow those teams. Mr. Gokster, I can personally vouch for, has been following these teams for years. Posted AHL picks in Low Shack in the Bag shows for a long time. And those minor hockey leagues can be very, very beatable. AHL is one, like the Russian leagues and the Norwegian leagues and all those kinds of hockey leagues. If you have the time and inclination to follow them, can be very, very profitable. I remember for a while I was following one of those leagues in like European hockey somewhere, and there was one team that the market was just significantly off of. I forgot which one it was. They were a big favorite game in and game out, but they should have been a much bigger favorite than they actually were, like winning every game 8-1 and stuff like that. And the market would price them like whatever, minus 240 or something. The puck line would be whatever it would be. But yes, those minor hockey leagues right now can have big value. Definitely look into Mr. Gokster 99's reads on NHL and AHL. Shout out to you, Mr. Gokster. Alex Quayle, shout out to you. SLU, worst free throw shooting team in the nation. I don't know if they're worse than the nation. I'm sure there's probably some big OVC team that's worse than St. Louis, but they're down there. They have major issues with free throw shooting, which is a problem in college basketball, as we know. Matt Thames, shout out to you. Adam Lassman likes Michigan. Yeah, Michigan's definitely a quality team. You can't start giving them bucket upon bucket upon bucket on the spread without getting burned. I would not take Iowa here. I would take the Iowa team total over, though. Definitely. Could easily see it be a high-scoring game where Iowa wins by 2, loses ATS, but the team total covers easily. Could also see it. Could also see Michigan not showing up and the game going under, but Iowa blowing them out and the team total over covering as well. So we'll see. Oh, man. Shout out to everyone. Alex Quayle says you can't worry about people's bet units. Yeah, I know I can't, but I do. You know what I mean? You can't worry about it, but Aaron 007. Pete, you shouldn't worry your picks make me die of a diabetic coma. I will do so with no ill will, nothing but love, win or lose. I hear you. I know. I shouldn't worry if my picks make you die of a diabetic coma, Aaron 007. But I do. You know what I mean? I shouldn't, but I do. It's just in my nature. You know what I mean? You can't change your nature. You know what I mean? Let's see. What else do we have here? Big Ragu, shout out to you. Rich G, Mr. Gokster. Matt Turn says Brandon Anderson is playing tonight for Brown. How many points do you think that is worth tonight against Yale? Good question. I could go back and give you an actual number on that, but I don't have time to set it all up right now. But I definitely looked at it, and my numbers said even if he plays, not a problem. If Anderson's in there, not a problem. I still like Yale. Let's see. Other comments coming in. Big Ragu, the road to Kentucky Derby officially starts tomorrow. Yes, I will try to cover the Triple Crown. Longtime viewers of my shows know that for some weird reason, when I started off in odds analysis in high school, it was with horse racing. Even though there was pari-mutuel betting, so it was a stupid thing to bet. A lot of the shit was fixed, right? It was a stupid thing to bet. And, and that the trotters, they were fixed, a lot of them. There were big scandals with that in like Yonkers and the Meadowlands and stuff. But yeah, I have now come back to horse racing a little bit because of matchup props. We didn't have matchup props when I was growing up. Now we do. That is by far my favorite way to bet Kentucky Derby races. By far. I can't tell you how many times, there was some, horse that I thought would be good, some horse that I thought would be bad. I was right about the horse being bad. The horse that I thought would be good was totally wrong, but they'd come in 8th place. The horse I thought would be bad would come in 10th place, and I'd win my matchup prop anyway. Or a horse that I thought would be good against a horse I thought would be bad. The horse that I thought would be bad comes in 3rd place, and I was wrong about that, but I was right about the one I thought would be good. That one comes in 2nd place, and I win my matchup prop. Love matchup props in horse racing, and especially in the Triple Crown. Mr. Gokster, bookmaker, great book for matchup props. But yes, we don't mention. Damn it, I did it again. Now I'm going to draw that up on the ledger I have for all the books I accidentally mention. And then if they come to me asking for me to say they want to sponsor the show, I'll have to tell them, I already mentioned you 4 times. You got to give me a prepayment of $6. $1.50 for every mention that I've already given you on my shows. But yes, there are books that offer matchup props in the major races, and that is by far my favorite way to bet the horses now. David Hutton, love to learn about horse race capping. Yeah, it's a little complicated. I remember there was this one famous article about a guy who a bunch of years ago, you can't do this now, a bunch of years ago, who employed an advanced model for handicapping horse racing and killed it worldwide. But I can't remember how many factors that guy factored in, but it was like in the hundreds. Alex Quayle, I loved MSU, but 9.5 seems like too much with how good defense Wisconsin is playing recently. Yes, Alex Quayle, I can understand why you would think that, but the numbers don't bear that out. As far as my numbers were concerned, it's definitely different with Wisconsin being on the road and Michigan State coming off of a loss. 9.5's a lot, but I think there's a reason why it got bet up. And I understand why you would think that just first glance. Noli knows. Shout out to you. Mr. Gokster, you can go broke quick in horse betting. That is true. And just a general reminder to everyone watching this show, if you don't know what you're doing in any area of sports betting, you can go broke quick, right? Yes. Horse betting, NBA, NHL, college basketball, MLB, college football. That's why you got to see it. You got to always money manage appropriately and see it as a purely recreational pursuit, unless you have any reason to believe that it would be otherwise for you. All right, so let's start looking. Oh man, I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get the weekend off, to get some sleep, to get in gear and rest it up for Monday. All right, let's see what's coming in. See if there are any lines. We have 6, 7 o'clock games, and the Niagara game already up. All right, let's look at that. Let's look at that, boys. Let's see what we got here. Niagara. Let's see what we got. Come on. Let's load these pages. Niagara, 2.5 and 74.5. Come on. Okay, 2.5 and 74.5. Okay, loading. Loading everything. Wow, look at that. I wish I had tweeted out the fucking Dayton game. I wish I had tweeted out the Dayton game. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the second half. All right. Let me pull up the MAC games here. Okay, Niagara down by 4. Let's see what the numbers say here. Loading sheets, loading pages. Shout out to everyone. Hit the like button if you haven't already. If you aren't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. Okay, hold on. Okay, the numbers like Niagara a little bit. 2.5. Nothing crazy, but they like it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. All right, that's going to be a play. Niagara plus 2.5. That's a play. Nothing crazy. Medium or medium small borderline. Niagara plus 2.5. And we'll grade this one. We'll grade it medium small. Home teams that are statistically worse than the road teams they're playing. My model, or whatever you call it, my approach is a little bit off. Tends to overvalue them. So we'll make that medium small. Niagara plus 2.5. Graded medium small. The total. Also liking the under. Ryder team total under 38.5 is definitely something that it likes, and we'll give that one. Ryder under 38.5. That's a play. Ryder under 38.5. Team total under 38.5, or Ryder. Team total under 38.5. We'll grade that one. That's medium or medium big. We'll just grade it medium, although that's borderline medium big. Ryder team total under 38.5, medium, and Niagara plus 2.5, medium small. And the total at 74.5, slightly to the under according to my numbers, but I won't make that one a play. Because, of course, these are all correlated, right? Always be aware of correlation in your bets and under. Whoa, the total just jumped to 75. Someone smacked the over. Wow. And Ryder got to smacked up to 39. Okay. But we saw that yesterday, right? The Wright State Cleveland State game. I don't know what happened there. I told everyone to take it at 73.5. And by the time the line had closed, it was down to 72.5. I was like, what's going on here? Yeah, the over cashed. Not necessarily super easily. By a decent margin, though. I believe there were points late. Again, these market moves. Look at that. 75. All right. And the Ryder just jumped up to 39. I wish I had gotten that. But we are pathologically honest and pathologically precisely honest in this show, as I have been in all my videos for my entire life and career. So 38.5. We're doing this. My official public plays are the same thing as bets. You can't change your bet after you've made it. 38.5, Ryder, under. Official play. The total, though, we didn't officially make a play, and I could take it at 75 now if I wanted to. All right, let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at Fairfield, Iona. Wow, Iona jumping out. Look at that. Fairfield, Iona, -1 and 68.5. -1 and 68.5. What do we see here? And nothing really. Nothing. Let's look at Siena Canisius. Maybe there's something there. What do we see in there? Let's see. Nothing as of right now. Furman Wofford. Let's look at that. Let's take a look at that one, though. Wow, Wofford blowing him out. And I'm not even going to say it. Broken fucking record. I liked Wofford in the under on this one, too. Although not nearly as much as the other stuff that I had tonight. Let's see. The numbers say anything? Nah. Not really. Slightly to the over, though. It's 70.5. Yeah, just a bit. No, actually, a little bit, yeah. 70.5, the over. They like that one a little bit. Let me just do a little bit more investigation here to see if that is actually we look into the numbers just a little bit more here. See if I want to take 70.5 with this weird first half result. 70.5, huh? Let's look at some, just quickly scanning some other, doing a little bit of other numbers crunching here that I have the opportunity to do just because there's not that many games. Yeah, this might be a play here. It's possible. Over 70.5. Let me just do some other numbers crunching here and to entertain yourselves for about 30 seconds, if you don't mind. I'm looking at some stuff here. I'm examining some stuff here. Yeah. It's in a borderline. Yeah, well, we'll hold off. We'll hold off on that one. We'll hold off on that one for a play. Okay, now hold on. Let me check one other thing. Just checking something here. Sorry, clicked the wrong thing. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. I'm just looking for something for some of these Mac games. Hold on one second. Entertain yourselves, please. I know this is dead air. I need to get home and get to sleep. Let's see what we got. All right, nothing on Siena Canisius. Let's see if anything else is up there yet. Dayton, St. Louis, we'll look at that. Let's look at the Michigan State game. Let's look at that one. Wisconsin, Michigan State. Yeah, like 9.5 beginning of the game. -2 and 67.5. What do the numbers say here? Nothing really. Nothing really. Very small lean to the over at 67.5, but that's not bettable. Ugh. All right, we gave out a couple plays, though. Let's look at Dayton, St. Louis. There's probably not going to be anything here. Let's just see if the numbers say anything, though. Well, they kind of like Dayton. I'm sorry, St. Louis at 6.5. Again, my home dogs outperforming in the first half is something that my model or my approach, whatever you want to call it, is particularly poor at. Also, a small lean to the Dayton team total under at 40. Yeah, that's not really bettable either. Well, St. Louis just dropped to 6. Right, so we got the Niagara game, the Rider game. Nothing else really. Furman Wofford over 70.5, maybe. So far, only 2 official picks. Niagara plus 2.5, medium, small, and the Rider team total under 38.5, medium. Furman Wofford just jumped to 71, though. Yeah, I mean, numbers do like it. Nothing crazy, but they do. All right, I'll make it a play, even at 71. I mean, the numbers like it. The halftime numbers like it. Wofford over 71. That will definitely, though, be small. Graded small. Could have 70.5. This is not how you want to bet this stuff. But Wofford over 71. Graded small. Official play. Other games, again, Siena Canisius. Nothing really. I like Canisius pregame and the Canisius team total over and the over, but that's not really bettable now. Iona Fairfield. $1 and 69. Nothing really. Nothing at all. Rider Niagara, we already did that. Again, slightly into the under. Now it's 75. I like it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dayton, St. Louis. Again, my pregame reads on this one were on. Numbers like St. Louis just a little bit. I'm not going to pull the trigger on that. Classic home dog situation where my St. Louis shooting 3 for 12 from the free throw line. Is that going to regress to the mean? Probably not. I think they might go 2 for 6 again in the second half. And the total on this Dayton St. Louis game, nothing. Furman Wofford. Yeah, we gave the over 71. Graded it small. And the spreads here. Well, also both team total overs. 38 and 33. Small leans to those as well. Wofford over 33. Numbers kind of like that a little bit. Wofford over 33 is a justifiable play here according to my numbers. We took the over small. That could have been medium small, though. Wofford over 33 is a justifiable play according to these numbers. Yeah, let's just pass it. And then Wisconsin, Michigan State, again. Pretty much nothing. Slight lean to the Michigan State team total under at 35. That's very slight. Just quickly look into few picks today, but not that many games, of course. So we weren't expecting that much. I wish to God I had tweeted out all my pregame thoughts. That would have more than made up for what happened yesterday with my 2 tweeted second half losers. Just looking something very quickly here. Numbers like the Wofford team total over 33 a little bit. Yeah. All right, we'll make that one a last second play. Wofford team total over 33 official play. No, they took it off the board. All right, forget it. That's not a play. Took it off the board. If you tailed me based on my thinking out loud here, which is what I do, I feel like my thinking out loud on camera also has a little bit of value, both as far as plays that you might want to tail, borderline plays that I don't have the courage / balls to give publicly, as well as just a little insight into how you might want to think about these games, these teams, handicapping college basketball in general, second half specifically, but I always discuss it in terms of and in light of handicapping these games full game as well, which I think is valuable. Yale up by 9. And that's about it. Once again, Iowa team total over at 76 or 76.5 might have a little bit of value. If you gave me a free play on it right now, that's what I would put it on, although I haven't bet it yet. We gave out 3 plays. Wofford game over 71, graded small. Niagara plus 2.5 medium small. Rider team total under 38.5 medium. And that's it. Let's look at some final comments for the week, and then we'll wrap it up. Don't forget, we'll do this all over again starting on Monday. Monday, again, should be pretty fun, pretty relaxed, not that many picks. We'll talk about things in general, shoot the shit, go back and forth. Tuesday should be good. Wednesday might be good, might be crazy. Thursday, almost guaranteed to be crazy. Friday will be like today. chilled out, laid back. I'll probably have a good read on the Friday games. I'll probably be also zoned out and dropping, how much I need to sleep every 5 or 6 minutes in the show. Final shout outs of the week, and then we'll wrap it up. Jonathan Nelson says, thanks for the info, Pete. You're very welcome, Jonathan Nelson. Shout out to you. Mr. Gokster99, shout out to you. Alex Ramirez, viral video. Thanks, Pete. No, thank you, Mr. Viral Video, for your tennis plays. If you got any more, post away, man. Keep them comment away. Keep them coming. Alex Quayle, Jesus, 3-12 is abysmal. Yeah, but again, when you look at that, you want to think, is that an outlier performance, or is that something that's likely to roughly repeat in the second half and going forward? I mean, 3-12 is a little bit worse than what you would expect from him, but not that much worse. That's what you're going to get when you are handicapping and betting on or betting against teams like St. Louis that shoot poorly from the free throw line. Expect to see that and factor it in. Let's see, Rich. Yeah, looking good early on. Yes, I had them. Aaron 007, great show as always. Thank you so much, Aaron 007. Oh, Noli knows likes Florida State, Miami under 143 tomorrow, Pete. I have a feeling I'm passing on the entire college basketball slate tomorrow, but I trust Noli knows. So anyone who sees that, go for it. Florida State, Miami under 143. Big Ragu, quick for NFL, Pete. I have not looked at NFL yet, and I don't think I'm going to. I'm all in here on college basketball. Every waking second. That's all I'm doing. College basketball. No NFL. I guess I'll probably look at the Super Bowl. Probably. You know what I'm saying? Not guaranteed. Probably. Matt Turns, awesome show. Love it. And we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much, Matt Turns. Anyone watching from a media company, look at that. Awesome show. Love it. That's a real person. Okay, that's not a bot that I created that's, in some server somewhere making comments like that. That's a real actual person. That's not easy to do, you media company fuckface. Look at that. Be impressed. Thank you very much, Matt Turns. I appreciate the sentiment, and I appreciate you coming out and saying it. Rich G, have a good weekend, my friend. You have a good weekend, Rich G. That's it. Shout out to all of you. I love you all. I'll see you all on Monday. Have a good weekend. Good luck this weekend with your bets.